What I want to do is tell you this story, and it's a true story about Will Smith and me, loser boy. I was at Lansing Catholic. I was teaching, and Will Smith was the movie Pursuit of Happiness was about to come out, so I was interviewing him about that movie so I could do the write-up before the show, right? So I told my students, I'm going to meet Will Smith today. And they were so geeked out. This was really at the height of his career, right? He was just, you may remember, he was blowing now the dog leaves. He's like, I'm going to leave a gift with you.
My work is done.
Yes. What was I doing? Oh, so the kids, anyway, long convoluted story. In the end, I walked out of Lansing Catholic with a bag. And in the bag was a poster that I just took a big old white poster board and had the kids write, we love you, Will Smith, all these things. A lot of our girls wrote their number. And so I rolled it up. We had a Lansing Catholic hat and something else. I can't remember. But so I get there, and there's two writers in front of me, and there's a bunch behind me. And we all get the lecture. You have 10 minutes with Mr. Smith. 10. Do not give him anything. I'm standing there with my bag. Like, shoot. Right? So I said to the dude, I'm a teacher, and my kids wrote this stuff. Well, I said, can you hold it? Right, so when I go in the room with him, and he goes, well, just take it in, but do not give it to him. Don't ask him to take anything. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I get in there, and the shortest thing is this. The first 10 minutes, there was 2 other people in the room, and they had really good questions. And I don't mean to be funny. I'm like, these are better questions than I have. So I just listened. I didn't say a word. And at one point, he said, do you have a question? I'm like, no. Because they were kicking butt. Seriously, these were some very insightful questions, and I was like, "Are you happy?" But in the end, the 10 minutes came up, and someone came in the room, and he said, "Give me 5 more with these guys." And so we got 15, and then those 2 left. And while I was leaving, he said, "What's in the bag?" Will Smith did. And I said, I'm not going to bug you, Mr. Smith. They told me about, no, what's in the bag? I said, well, I'm a teacher at a Catholic school. I have my cassock on. So he knew, he called me preacher at one point when we were interviewing. I said, I'm a Catholic priest, and my students made this poster for you, and we brought you a hat from our school. Well, can I have them? I mean, just like that. Like, yeah, So I gave him the bag, and I can't wait to tell the kids, right? And then, I'm not kidding. And as I'm walking away, he goes, wait, how are they going to know you gave it to me? And I said, well, I'll tell them. Well, let's get a picture. So I have a picture of me with my arm around Will Smith, and we're holding the poster. And he's smiling. And now probably 3 times, someone came in, we need to go. And no, he just stayed right with me. Talking. He introduced me, one of his bodyguards was a OSU grad. He goes, I see you're a Spartan. I had my Spartan pin on because that's Jesus' favorite school. I just found him, like what I've told everyone after that is I'm met one of the most vulnerable, powerful people I've ever met. That when you meet powerful people, they're rarely vulnerable. And you know me, I talk about it all the time. I think that's the key to holiness is vulnerability. He talked to me about his dad. He talked to me about how hard he has to drive himself because, he grew up poor. He talked about fixing freezers, that his dad, I think I have this right, fixed freezers in grocery stores. And helping his dad do that and learning the value of hard work. And me, I'm a talker. But even I knew, just shut your mouth. And I'm serious. I don't mean this, I don't know how it's going to sound. I don't care. I know my heart. I met a ton of these people. Okay. And I found most of them weird, arrogant, and really out of reality. Yeah, I was telling Carrie one time, and I won't, I was interviewing someone very famous. Okay. And I mean, wow, And we were in this room, and the door shut like this. And it's just, and the guy went, I can't think with all this noise. I'm like, brah. You're built like a brick poo house and you're a sissy. How does that feel? No, this guy, like, while people are trying to, it was so funny. He kept saying, I'm going to a wedding. He's going to Tom Cruise's wedding, to Katie something or other. That one. And, which is just kind of funny. I'm like, oh, I'm going back to Flint for pizza. But I found him to be the humblest, one of the humblest of those, like him and Keanu Reeves were just shockingly humble. And he was vulnerable, and he was open with how hard he has to work in his head to be the man he wants to be. And I don't say these things like, way to go, yeah, don't hit a comedian, right? But for whatever it's worth, I'm not my most embarrassing moment, and you're not your most embarrassing moment. And other people's pain is not our chance to pontificate on our cause. Right? I saw a lot of that in the last few days. What Will Smith teaches us about the thing I think everything teaches us about, It's like, maybe just shut up, And I know it sounds ironic because I'm sharing my opinion, but I'm trying not to share my opinion on the incident. I'm just telling you about a guy I met that if he was dirt poor and fixing freezers in Flint, I'd hang out with. Because he just struck me as authentic and vulnerable. And I don't know. I guess I want to say that. And I started to type it for Facebook, and then it was like everyone was doing what Americans do. Something crazy happened. How can this benefit me? Right? I have this little cause I've carried around everywhere, and something happened. I'm going to plug it in. Right? We do it with terrorism incidents. We do it with every single thing that happens. And it's so narcissistic and arrogant. Do you hear my stomach over here? And weird and sinful. And I do it too. Oh my gosh, I hope that's clear. I'm trying to be conscious of it so I don't do it. Because maybe sometimes, and this might be crazy, a guy slapping another guy, maybe it's not about me, just for something crazy. I get why he did it. I wish he wouldn't have. And saying you get why someone does it doesn't mean that they should have done it. I've seen my brothers defend their wives unreasonably, and I think it's lovely. I do. I do. I'm so proud of that. I've seen my brothers-in-law unreasonably defend my sisters. I love them for that. And I grew up where violence was a lot more acceptable than it is now. But I don't know. That's my thoughts. For whatever it's worth, I'm not too easily fooled by an arrogant person pretending to be humble. I thought he was humble in a way I wasn't ready for. And I was touched by his openness and his vulnerability. And this was at a time when his career was at its peak. Look it up. Whatever year Pursuit of Happiness came out, he was on a run like that. I remember that was one of the questions. You've had 5 #1 movies in a row. No one's ever done that before. Do you feel pressure? And it was funny. He was like, no, my pressure's internal. He's one of those guys like my dad. You can't put pressure on him. He'll take care of it.
2006.
2006. And by the way, beautiful movie. If you've not seen it, it's a true story. And I cried seeing that movie. And I cry at Field of Dreams. I've seen it 900 times, and I still, Dad, want to have a catch? But greatest movie ever. Oh, and you know what else is another one like that for me? Last of the Mohicans. You ever see Last of the Mohicans? Mm-hmm. Man. By the way, I made some comment on this show about Daniel Day-Lewis, and someone wrote me, have you seen There Will Be Blood? So I look it up, And I'm like, Dad, there's no profanity. There's no sex. This is a movie we can watch. And it won 800 awards. The best picture and the best picture of a best picture. I don't understand that movie. Anyway. So there's my statement about Will Smith. Should he have slapped Chris Rock? No. Would I have? Probably. Would I have been proud of myself afterward? Nope. What do you do? I'm a human. And I hope I'm never judged on my worst moment. I do. Because, man, I've had a lot of bad ones. You know, I think of like in high school, how righteous I was and how hypocritical I was. I was doing my best. I was a boy, you know? And I don't know how many things now that when I'm 70, I'll look back at 52 and go, oh no. But I do know I'm doing my best. So.